Well, today, John Kerry will go before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, his first steps to the State Department. But it's outgoing Secretary of State Hillary Clinton who is making headlines this morning after an emotional testimony about the deadly attack in Benghazi. Joining us now with more on the Secretary's appearances, Jonathan Broder, defense and foreign policy writer with CQ Roll Call. He has more than 30 years covering the Middle East and all the hot spots. We're talking about wars, assassinations, and diplomatic security, too. Welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for joining us. First, I hate to use that word emotional because the secretary happens to be a woman, and that's the first thing that some might go to. You wouldn't use that word for a man. But to be quite frank, she did let her emotions fly at one point, getting very upset about when she had to stand there and receive the bodies that came home from this attack. How would you characterize her appearance yesterday in the two hearings?
Well, she did get emotional because she knew Chris Stevens, the ambassador who got killed. He was quite a impressive diplomat. He spoke fluent Arabic, not only Arabic, but the dialect of Arabic that they speak in Libya. He was very brave to go out there. What I think a lot of people don't understand is that being a U.S. diplomat in hot zones involves danger, and there's a risk that one takes, probably no different than a foreign correspondent takes. But if you're going to represent the United States in these countries, you have to be there. You have to be on the ground. You can't do it from afar. And that's a point that Hillary Clinton tried to make yesterday. But I think the emotion that you saw was the fact that she knew the people who got killed.
Let's take a listen to just a little bit of that, and you can hear what we're talking about right now. This is, of course, Secretary Clinton.
I stood next to President Obama as the Marines carried those flag-draped caskets off the plane at Andrews. I put my arms around the mothers and fathers, the sisters and brothers, the sons and daughters, and the wives left alone.
Madam Secretary, I'd like to join my colleagues.
What difference does it make, the information that we had at first? Bottom line is Americans came home in body bags. How much does it matter what was known and the information that was given out in the days after the attack?
Well, you know, they did a review. The State Department conducted its own independent review of what happened in Benghazi. They call it the Accountability Review Board. And they did a very exhaustive study of what happened. Now, I can tell you that when these kind of incidents happen, it's very chaotic. There's a great fog of war, to use a cliche. But what you have, at least on Capitol Hill, is a group of critics of Secretary Clinton trying to get very, very black and white answers for a situation that is far from black and white. It's very, very, very murky. My own feeling is that nothing new came out from that hearing, but what the constant attacks on Hillary Clinton from Republicans tells me that Republicans see her as a threat, political threat in 2016, and they're trying to, bang up her image as much as they can going into that. And I'm sure that the clip of Hillary Clinton saying, "What difference does it make?" where she gets angry at one of the Republican senators, will probably become part of a political ad.
We might see that again. There's much to ask you, Jonathan, so I'm just trying to get to the bulk of this. Let me say that Secretary Clinton said that the State Department is in the process of implementing 29 recommendations, if you will, to sort of make sure that this kind of thing doesn't happen again. In your expert opinion, though, is there a way to protect people who take on jobs like this, the diplomats in foreign countries, especially the Middle East?
At the end of the day, the security of any American diplomats in any country is the responsibility of the host country. Now, what happened in Libya was that there was no real government army to protect them. They were relying on a local militia. That was the best they could do. American diplomacy in the Middle East involves risk. Now, I'm sure that there will be conditions and recommendations to improve security, but what you have to remember is that the more a diplomat gets closed off behind security, from the people that they need to be talking to the poor job they're going to do as diplomats for us.
Jonathan Broder is the senior editor of National Security CQ Roll Call. Do come back and talk to us again.
Thank you.
Thank you.